So every organization should have a target of around 30 to 40% of new revenue this year coming from existing customers. And the contact center is the number one place where we talk to our customers. And they have questions, and we have opportunities to introduce new products or upsell opportunities. And so just thinking about the contact center as an area that has responsibility in sales, in revenue, these cross sells, these upsells, new revenue. Now, if we start talking about where are we sourcing new revenue and 30, 40% coming from existing customers, right away, you're going to get a board, you're going to get the C suite to say, okay, I understand. How do you track that? If sales is such an important part of this, how do you report up with these revenue numbers that are coming in? How do you attribute that to the contact center and the agents and what you're training them to do?
Very good point that you've mentioned. The department, the customer service department is, as you say, it's the first row. It's the ear and the eye of company to the customer. So every feedback that you get is coming from your customer, regardless if it's on product or on processes that exists or on the service you provide. I think if you care about the brand perception, about the product that you're selling, you want to understand the needs of your customers, the demands, the complaints, the wishes, any area for improvement, you usually get from your customers if you decide to listen to those. So, what I know from the past that a majority of initiatives came from the department and from the agents directly. So, to your point, the competition is out there. So, if you're not having a very unique product, unique on the market, your customers usually have the choice to shop elsewhere. So we know all these huge e-com companies where people have the choice to shop their product somewhere else, but they decide to go there for the service. So usually if it's not the product and you can get the product somewhere else and the service and the support, then the question is, why do they attract to come back? As you said, why is there an increase of revenue, repeat orders? That's usually for the service because people decide, and I don't know how many people that shop at this huge online e-com store, they say it's so easy. And whenever I have an issue, the service is so great that I'm happy to pay some more money, but to get the service in case something is wrong. And I think this is the sweet spot of standing out from the competition, having this approach of doing things different, because knowing the customer has an alternative, your only way to succeed is by having the talent, understanding your product, and offering the best service possible to your customers. So, to your question of how you want to ensure that this department and entity is able to provide that, I think this comes with really having a focus on what kind of agents you want to have in your department to serve your customers. So, from my background, usually it helps to have a certain relation to the product. So, if you sell shoes and handbags, it might make sense to have a common understanding as the customer have that this is something you can never have enough of. Or if you sell athletic wear, it might make sense to have agents supporting customers with their queries or needs or whatever it is, if they understand that there is a different demand on a bra if you do yoga over going for a run. So I think to have a general interest in the product you sell or the service you offer is something that I would say is the first requirement. And then it depends really on what your audience is, where your customer is located. And this can be culturally different, it can be from the age, it can be from many different reasons. Makes sense to think about where you want to position on the market. If you want to have an in house team, if you want to outsource, if there's something you want to bring artificial intelligence or bot service in. And I think those are the critical strategic decision to pay attention to because not all customers, not all audiences is open to have artificial support. It depends on the age group. Currently, our customers are 55 years and older. And with that comes a different way to approach and serve these customers. It's different channels. It's a different way of communication to address this. And while a customer that just wants to identify where the order is, the classical Wismo, where is my order, and might be happy if a bot just provides the tracking number and the request is completed from there, the customer has all the information they need. It might not be the same if you have a charge on your bank account and you don't know where it's coming from, and you're really interested in talking to a person, to a human being that makes you understand and makes you help de-escalate and prevents you some argument on why certain things happened. And also, there is a specific in your business model. If you just provide service or just sell products, it's different than coming in with a membership model or a subscription. So, as we said in the beginning, my background is in companies that conquer the markets with a membership or subscription models. And for the European customers specifically, when we started this 15 years ago in HelloFresh, or then later in my experience at Textile with these brands, Just Fab, Fabletics, and Savage X Fenty by Rihanna, that was new to European customers. They knew subscription from their gym membership and from their newspaper. But beyond that, it was something new. So customer want to know what are the perks and benefits? What does that make unique for me? Do I have to come in and purchase as a repeated member where I'm maybe being charged, where there is more obligations? What is in for me? And I think here it's extra important to engage, to go the extra mile, to deliver above and beyond than what is expected. Because these customers, you want them to come back. If you shop at any e-com store and the product is nice, you may come back. But if it's a kind of membership or subscription where you ask the member to repeatedly come back, then you want them to feel special. Then you want them to feel there is a benefit for me. There is an advantage over those that are not members, that are not signing up for a subscription. Some early access, some special service, some premium service. Have them things delivered earlier, products that are special and exclusive. Provide them with a service they feel it's worth being this repeat member. And I think coming in with that approach gives you way more opportunity in the training to really educate your agents on why it's important to engage, why it's this extra minute they might take. And I'm happy to deep dive on that a little bit more from my current role at Sonova, where, as I said, it's a different audience. And you can't say the conversion part is important as you want to talk to people and have high conversion rates at the end of the day as your KPI. But there's different ways to approach, and I'm happy to discuss this a little more.